time. This is desert racing. This is the Laughlin SCORE Desert Series. And this is SCORE News. The 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300 is brought to you by Toyota. Our minds are always racing. By the Terrible Herbst Oil Corporation. And the Laughlin Visitors Bureau and the Laughlin Tourism Committee.
Welcome to this edition of SCORE News and the coverage of the 1998 SCORE Laughlin Desert Series Las Vegas Primm 300. Joining me is SCORE International Racing Association veteran Charlie Engelbart. And bringing us the driver's perspective is off-road racing champion Ivan Stewart. Now we're coming to you from in front of the McPherson Motorsports brand new state-of-the-art Chevy race truck. We'll be seeing more of this truck in upcoming shows. Now, Charlie, tell us about the Las Vegas Primm 300.
Well, I got to tell you, this is race number 5 of a 6-race series. Becomes very important for the race of the championship of the Las Vegas Laughlin Desert Series itself. In Class 1, we have a tight battle between Troy Herbst and Doug Fortin Jr. And in Trophy Truck, the Enduro Duralast Ford has got a real slim lead.
And Ivan, as a driver yourself, a champion, your perspective on what these drivers have to contend with on this race?
Well, I tell you what I've always liked about this course. It's relatively short, 484-mile laps, a lot of variety. They've got a big dry lake to go across. They get some water to contend with. They've had rain over the last few days, a piece of asphalt, lots of rocks, some washes. I expect some good, violent, fast racing.
Great. And the activities get underway this Friday. The day before the race, when the teams parade through the sponsored displays on their way to tech inspection, we took the opportunity to corner a few drivers for their comments on the race and the course.
Just going to take it easy the first couple laps and then see what happens. Let my guys tell me what's going on after 2 laps, and if we need to push harder, we'll go for it.
You know, we're looking for a finish because we are leading the Pro Truck points and second in SCORE, and there's some good trucks out there. And
I think the rains have taken a lot of the rocks and pushed them into the course, so it's smooth and really rocky. But I think if you get through there, the rest is going to be pretty much wide open.
Well, yes, it's very rough, but it's also very fast. It's one of those kind of courses in which you can run fast, but it is rough. So you need to be cautious out there, and I think we need to keep the car together. It's going to be very important. It's 4 laps, so we're not going to win it to the first checkpoint.
Well, this is my backyard, and I feel real comfortable here, so I'm real excited about this race. We feel like we've done everything to be as prepared as possible. We've changed out parts and new motor and trans. We feel real confident, and I am familiar with this probably more than anywhere, so we feel we got a good chance.
Off-road racers are really tough, and they really have big hearts. And when there's a need, they really respond. And here's some guys that saw a need and did something to help.
Chase initially was on the TV show because he had certain cancer of the abdomen, and at one time he was given a 1% chance to live. So when you have odds like that, and when you have somebody that wants to be an off-road racer, we have to support it because we love it and we like it. It's fun.
It's a special feeling inside, and we're so glad to be able to be involved with him. Super little boy, and hopefully we have a fan and hopefully a participant here for life.
Last Christmas, I got this game for Super Nintendo called Super Off-Road, the Baja, and that's where I started.
How are you, Chase? I understand that you're quite an off-road racing enthusiast.
Yeah.
You are? You want to be a driver someday?
Yeah.
Would you like to ride with me someday?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be afraid?
No.
Huh? Chase was really a neat little guy, and I had a ball with him. I know he had a great time all weekend. I really want to thank Tim and Ryan for helping Chase's dream come true.
Here's a look at the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the Northern Hemisphere, located here in Primm, Nevada. Stay with us for the start of the 1998 Laughlin SCORE Desert Series Las Vegas news coverage of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. Now here's an aerial view of the brand new outlet mall right next to the hotels. And just a few thousand yards away, the pit crews are lined up along the course, getting ready for the Saturday 7 a.m. start.
Now this is a 335-mile course of really rough terrain, and there was heavy rain on the southern part. Here's some last-minute comments.
My strategy today is to take it easy on the first lap, see what the competition's doing, and just slowly step it up, make sure we're in the hunt in lap 4 and take charge.
looked at this whole year one race at a time. Our goal is to go out there and win every single race and do that for Terrible Herbst and Ford and BF Goodrich. And we're starting in the back of the pack today. Doesn't look like there's going to be much wind. We're just going to take each lap at its time today, and we've been lucky so far this year. So hopefully it'll stay with us a little bit longer today, and just hopefully we'll be there at the end of the day.
First trophy truck is Mike Timon. Now, these guys all take off by luck of the draw. They all draw a number out of the hat. Mike was the first one off the line.
Here come the Herbst brothers, right?
700 horsepower Ford F-150. Tim's going to drive the front half.
Oh! Whoa! Let's take a look at that again. Ivan, what happened there?
Well, I tell you, Tim comes around the corner, he sees the jump, and his truck really isn't up to temperature. The shocks haven't warmed up. He really doesn't know how the truck's going to react to that kind of a jump. Plus, he doesn't know the lip on the jump and how it's going to fly. And obviously, it flew with the back end way too high, really uncomfortable.
This is Dick Sasser in the former Donaby Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Let's see how he takes this. You think he just saw that?
I think
so.
I think that's burned in his brain.
Well, they're watching the other guys, so they can see us. Boy, we got a problem, so I'm going to take it easy.
Now, this is your current point leader in trophy truck, the Duralast Ford of Dave, Ashley, and Dan Smith.
Here's our helicopter viewpoint of the Herbst brothers on their way through the open desert.
Yeah, but now they're going to get into all that dust. Ivan, that's just got to be really difficult.
And when they get his face in the sun, it's going to be tough.
Now, this is Kurt Leduc. He's just back from Crandon, where he won the race back there.
And he's also, what, last year's winner at this race, too.
And last year's trophy truck champion.
Kurt Leduc is one of the toughest guys I know. He's a stocky little guy that's got a heart about the size of that truck right there.
Yeah, and he's learned from everybody else's lesson. This is Jeff Lewis in the McPherson all-wheel drive Chevrolet trophy truck.
And I believe that's the only least trophy truck that is all-wheel drive. Is that right?
That's correct. See how he takes the jump.
They look pretty good. You know, another thing you keep in mind is a lot on how the trucks are set up and how they fly across these jumps. Bob Gordon, beautiful little car.
Yeah, this is an awesome Chenef Toyota. Now, this is Corey Sheeler. That's a Jimco.
Motor sounds good, doesn't it?
Now, wait till later.
Reuben Wood from Buckeye, Arizona. He got his little smoky problem here.
Off to a shaky start there.
Yeah, I think he just loaded it up. Now, this is your favorite car there, Jorge.
Yeah, they made a little change, though, in the color scheme. It used to have that Arizona flag of John Herder on the side.
My old buddy Gus Vildosola. He's also got an in-car camera. This should be fun to watch.
Now, when we say that the driver's perspective, we literally mean the driver's perspective.
Look at this. Look at the glare.
Yeah, that's the sun we're talking about. And let me tell you, whenever that's just the sun, when you start adding the dust, it can really become agony.
You could lose a tractor trailer in that glare.
Great
Look
job.
at that.
Oh, man. This is John Phillips in a brand new Class 1 Jimco, and the paint job is just unbelievable.
The truggy of the Herbst brother. This is half buggy and half truck, so they call it a truggy. Very, very fast. I don't know the horsepower, but I bet it's up there in 700, 800 horsepower.
And that's your winner from Barstow and your current points leader.
All right, we chase the early starters across the desert. Stay tuned for more race action from the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. Laughlin SCORE Desert Series.
Now, this is Mike Timon picking his way along in the early morning. Now, this is not as easy as it looks, because this is a real rough section of the racetrack.
It is, there's a lot bigger boulders here than what you can see. In this particular section, you can't see the size of the rock. This is Tim Herbst working his way along. And you really can't see the sun and the dust that's being kicked up in front of him.
Well, I tell you, it's pretty, but I bet it's deceiving, isn't it?
It really is. This is a tough time of the morning. Tim's going to start getting up under this dust, and it's going to get a little tougher for him. He might even be holding back a little bit, what I'd be doing. Let's get up around the corner and head away from the sun. Jeff Lewis has caught the Duralast truck, it looks like.
And it looks like he's going to come up and just tap him, and...
That's right. Look at the acceleration.
There you
Now, that's the four-wheel drive now, or all-wheel drive. He can accelerate up this hill here. We're going up a long canyon, basically. Maybe we'll see the size of these rocks in a minute. In fact, I can see some of the big boulders down there.
Well, I would imagine the danger is sideswiping some of those boulders, knocking them into the path of traffic behind you.
Well, not only that, that's a factor. You worry about the guy doing that in front of you, but the sidewall of the tire is the weakest link there. You definitely don't want to hit that with the side. You can see him there. That's what Kurt Leduc is, staying away from the sidewalls.
Yeah, you can really tear a wheel off real easy.
The rocks the size of a Volkswagen is when they tear that front. And they're up there a little bit farther.
This guy knows his way around, though. Now that's David Weston from La Jolla, California. He's the current points leader in Class 8.
Brian Collins out of the White Lightning shop in Las Vegas, Nevada. Been a contender for a long time. Extremely good driver.
Yeah, and the difference between trophy truck and a Class 8 is just the suspension travel, basically.
Damon Jeffries, first Class 10 car. This guy's always a contender. We'll watch for him at the end.
And here we have 1013, Tom Greer out of Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, and we've got people from all over the Southwest racing in this series.
And here's the class that's very fond of my heart, the Pro Trucks. This is Andrew Way out of Fallbrook, California.
That's a Chevy. This is Ricky Johnson from Barstow, California, and that's a Ford.
Next up is Gary Magnus. Gary's out of Denver, Colorado.
The only difference is the power plant and the body panels.
That's right, Charlie. To make a Ford, a Ford has got to have a Ford body and a Ford engine. Jimmy Knuckles from Imperial Valley.
This is the guy we always think is in a Dick Tracy movie, Jimmy Knuckles.
He's a great guy. Steve Barlow. He just picked up a great sponsorship with the Red Bull. Steve has also been around off-road racing since he was a little kid. His dad, Don Barlow, very good competitor.
That's your current points leader, guys, in 1-2-1600 class. That's Becky Freeman from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, back to a little more race action now here in the high desert. Look at them kicking up the rocks and the dirt there as they make their climb.
Now, this is Dick Sasser, guys, from Menlo Park, and that's the old Donaby G. Beagle. And we caught up with Dick and found out about his love of desert racing and motorsports in general.
I raced Form Atlantic for about 11 years and quit racing that in 1981. A guy by the name of Russ Kilpatrick and Sherman Balch had some internationals. So I got one of those, and we raced an old Scout. Gene and I have been running it for about 10 years, as everybody knows. And, we had an opportunity to get in this vehicle, and we're really excited about it. You know, it's a big upgrade for us.
It's a 1993 Grand Cherokee. It's the first year the V8 came out. Kurt DeLuck and some other core guys with Chrysler came out and built 3 trucks. This is one of the 2 that are still left in the U.S. The one went over to South Africa, and they built an awesome truck.
Yeah, we got 21 people on our team, and most of them have a lot of experience. And our team manager, Larry Schlick, has been with us since 1980. He's never missed a race. And all the core people are longtime racers. Rich Severson and Phil and Larry's son, Joey, and Smitty's been with us since 1981. And so we just got, you know, we got 21 great people. They do a great job. I'm in the transportation business. We've got a moving and storage company in the Bay, San Francisco Bay Area. We got 40 trucks, so we're running 48 states in Canada. We got a ranch and a couple other things. We got some hot rods and, you know, hot August night stuff, so we get involved in a lot of different types of motor stuff.
Here we are crossing the dry lake bed with Gus Vildosola. Don't go away. We'll be back with more racing from the 98 Las Vegas Primm 300. Getting a helicopter view of the Class 1 car of Tom Koch of Ridgecrest, California.
You can notice how damp the soil is here. He's not making near the dust that typically would make in this area. Mark Post, big force motor in this one.
Yeah, and he's coming up on him quick, too.
Wow, boom.
As we speak.
That's more than just a little tap, I would say.
Yeah, that was over the line. I would say that was more of a ram. Tom didn't like that one, I'll guarantee you.
Well, I got, you know, in defense, Tom Koch does not know that Mark Post is coming up.
Yeah,
but
he
Mark
can't
Post
hear him, can he?
Can't hear him, can't see him, and you know, Mark did hit him a little too hard.
And not only that, Mark is also, let's say he does on
Sasser here.
Much better.
Yeah.
But keep in mind also, Mark is also frustrated by the fact that Tom Koch is not only throwing the dust, but there's big rocks coming back and hitting the face. So he wants to say, hey, let's get out of the way, Tom. I'm right here. I'm real serious. I want to win this race. So, but he did hit him a little bit hard. We'll forgive him for that one, though.
Now that's trophy truck number 19 out of Las Vegas.
That's Tim Herbst. He's coming up on Kurt LeDuc here. Gaining pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, considering LeDuc's running pretty hard, considering that he has not run any races this year so far in the Laughlin Desert Series. This is his first time back here after running at Crandon.
But believe me, Kurt LeDuc always runs hard.
Yeah, you got that right. Now this is a Class 8 truck, guys. This is a Class 8 that's allowed the suspension to go longer, and they're running in trophy truck. That's the Duralast Enduro Ford.
Yeah. Typically now, the Class 8's only got 15 inches of wheel travel. You can see this one's up probably, you know, they're up 20 inches or so.
And this is a pair of good kids. I mean, they've been around for a long time, started out in motorcycles, won everything in District 38 for years, and they have done an admirable job in this particular truck in this off-road racing season.
This is a long, great section right through here that's just a lot of fun. Lots of whoopie do. Jeff Lewis timing the jumps now. He's got the only all-wheel drive truck. And you listen, if you can hear the engine, you'll see him time the jumps, just like offshore racing. In the air, he comes off the throttle a little bit.
It's getting the rhythm of the ground and the rhythm of the truck.
Wait, and he's got, what, 800 horsepower under that hood?
Easy. Now, this is Herbst again.
Now, you watch the truck get a little sideways there. That's typically what you definitely don't
they're coming into water. Look at this.
We talked about rain. And they've definitely come into some water here.
Yeah, that's the Duralast truck up ahead of him.
And I got to tell you, that first blast of water cools you down immediately. I mean, it is really a shock.
Now, he went up on the side, out of the way.
See, now, Tim really, whenever you get out of the lane there, it's really hard to tell what's out there. Could be ditches, big boulders, and he got the worst of the water there. It's going to slow him way down. You got to remember, these guys have also got to be able to see. If you get too much water, it fogs the inside of that helmet, inside of your goggles, and you definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, and he's looking forward to taking a guy on skis over to the Catalina ski race, so he's probably getting some practice time in here.
Now, here you got two of them on two different lines here, right?
Well, Jorge, this is what it's all about. This is off-road racing. At its best, two different lines. Duralast also obviously picked the left lane, and Tim thinks he can get him in the right-hand lane. We'll see what happens. On my bets with Tim Herbst.
Ivan, how fast do you think they're moving here at this point?
Oh, they're up and down. You know, they get up to over 100 mile an hour for sure. They're running good 100 mile an hour, probably better. 115.
And you got to admit that everything seems to be working on both of those trucks really good. Now here's another shot of McPherson.
Now listen to the throttle. He'll come off and on, and he doesn't want to over-rev the motor, but yet he wants to carry momentum.
Almost like a power boat too.
Exactly. Great shot here. Oh. That truck really works well. Here's Gus Vildozola. This is the onboard camera. You can see exactly what it's all about here.
Boy, this is where you can see what kind of a workout they really get.
Look at the suspension work on that vehicle.
Look at them fly through all that water. Stay tuned for more action from the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. Laughlin 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. And action it is.
And the first car that we're seeing is Mike Timon. He's physically in first, but remember, this is a timed event, everybody, so everybody's got to run their own clock. And so basically where you see some of these cars is not the actual order that they're running in.
Yeah, because here comes Lewis, who started 7th, 3.5 minutes behind Timon.
And he's right behind him.
So he's caught up, so he's obviously picked up 2.5, 3, but 3 minutes or so.
Now this is 19. This is the Herbst entry, and he's moving up on Lewis.
It's a great day for racing. If you notice, there's not near the dust that we would normally see with the soil being as damp as it would, which makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is Ashley running 4th, but though there's not a lot of dust, a lot of gravel, right?
A lot of gravel. You can hear it. You know, well, you can see it too. This is LeDuc.
guys are being a little more careful than I thought they would be here. Remember, this is a long race, and they're only about 50 miles in.
Look at who's behind him. It's Gordon.
That was Bob Gordon. Bob always a very, very tough competitor.
And that's Corey Sheeler.
Listen to that engine scream.
This is a great section for the viewers to see what the off-road thing is all about here at the Primm 300.
It sounds like Doug Porton with that V4 motor. Listen to this. This sounds good, doesn't it?
Sounds like a Chevy V8, which is half of.
Well, here's a little higher revving motor. This is a Gus Vildozola with the Toyota. Now, this engine will turn probably up around 7,000 RPM or so.
Yeah, here's the in-car camera once again. Gives you an idea of the tremendous workout the drivers really get in controlling these vehicles.
Look at the rocks. Look at the rocks. Now, you can also hear sometimes the rocks hit the skid plates. Let's listen for a second. Now, you can hear it wind in the transmission. Right there. Hear that skid plate? Now, that's dragging on the ground. You hear the transmission, but that rocks are hitting the bottom of the race car. We got a Class 8 coming.
That's David Westham in a Class 8, and he's chasing, it looked like a Class 10 car.
I believe that was John Gahn.
And he's moving up. I mean, Westham is on the move. Now this is Baldwin. This is Josh Baldwin. Well, we got them all mixed up here, Ivan. We got pro trucks with trophy trucks.
Well,
we got.
You know, this is a real race, isn't it?
Well, it is.
It's a real good race.
And that's what makes it so much fun, whenever the guys can get up there and mix it up and pass. And we got, what, 3 cars right here that we can see, trucks and buggies all in one shot, which is real unusual.
And this is Collins out of Las Vegas.
Brian Collins. Now, that truck is basically the same as the Duralast truck, although it's restricted to about 15 inches of wheel travel. Wheel travel is where it's at in off-road racing.
That's Jeffries there. And you can see how the buggies can catch the big trucks because they're a little more nimble through all this stuff.
Well, that's right. Being agile and quick and being able to accelerate and deaccelerate and turn is where it's really at in off-road racing. You're just racing between corners and rocks and ditches, basically.
That's Jim Tucker. That's 1006.
I see my first pro truck coming. I see 2 pro trucks.
Yeah, but there's a couple Class 10s in there, too.
This is what it's all about. 4 trucks, rather, and buggies all in one shot here. This is great racing.
That was Ricky Johnson from Barstow.
And I believe we have another pro truck. It looked to me like could have been Steve Barlow with the Red Bull Ford. Maybe we can see it in a second.
Look at the difference in how they take the...
Yeah, that is Steve Barlow's truck. I can tell by the front end.
That's Galloway. That's a Score Lights car. That's last year's champion.
Stay tuned for more racing from the SCORE News coverage of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. We are back to the race action of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. And we open with a helicopter shot of David Westham.
Now, Dave, you know, has been living in New York, Charlie. He flies out to compete in the Southern California desert races. Just love desert racing.
Boy, that's quite a commute.
Yeah, but this kid is always upbeat, always positive, does a real good job, and he's your current points leader in Class 8.
Brian Collins, really on the move. He'd like to catch Dave, there's no doubt.
Well, his dad, Mark Collins, and Jerry Herbst, the father of all the Herbst brothers, ran the Baja years ago and won it together in the same car.
Set up a legacy for their kids.
Family tradition.
Yeah.
Brian also goes back to the Midwest to compete in a series back there, too, so he just loves off-road racing. My first pro truck, Rick Johnson out of Barstow, California, moving along pretty well.
Yeah, some of this terrain can reach up and grab things like brake lines and shocks and drive shafts. And
well, those rocks that they're hitting fly underneath the race cars. One of the biggest things we got to watch, as you mentioned, drive shafts and brake lines and all those things.
But he's definitely on a mission.
Yeah, the pro truck's getting quicker and quicker all the time. Jimmy Knuckles.
We've had a lot of fun with Jimmy Knuckles and his name and everything about a Dick Tracy movie, but he's a very good driver. His co-driver has come up from the Class 10 ranks, and that's Jim Disney.
Steve Barlow with the Red Bull sponsorship, as we mentioned. He also owns a restaurant chain, our part owner, co-owner of Chewy's Restaurants. Great food.
And here's Ed Herbst, waiting to get into the terrible Herbst trophy truck.
Right now, Tim's first car on the road. Probably has about a 3-minute lead over the second car, the Durlast car. Still says the race isn't half over yet, but Tim's had a real consistent. He's had a flat that he had to change himself. But the course is in pretty good shape. It's not a lot of breeze, but we've got about half the race over with, so we'll just kind of take our time and see what happens.
Now here's a pit stop. We're going to see where the drivers are changing places.
Well, I got to tell you that the Herbst crew, they orchestrate this thing. Everybody's got a specific job to do, and they come in there, and in 30 seconds, they can change tires, full load of fuel, and they're back out on the track.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that it's not only the amount of time you're in the pits, but letting another race car get ahead of you or two while you're in the pits can be disastrous as far as time goes. That was a quick pit stop. That was good.
It was really good on the first lap. We had a little bit dust-free, and we're trying to catch Mike Tiemann, and then we got a flat tire in the back, and it was sort of in a bad position for us. But we got behind all the other trophy trucks, and we had to come back through everybody.
Yeah, we're going to stop this lap, put fuel and tires on the car, and do a driver change. Dave will get out, and I'll get in, and see how we turn out. Dave's done a heck of a job so far. We made a plan this morning that we're going to take it easy on the car because it's a really rough course, and the plan's going well so far.
Now that was Dan Smith. Now he's ready right now for David Ashley to come in, Ivan.
These guys, you know, they use a little bit different strategy, and they use a great big, huge fuel cell. So they go lots and lots of miles. I don't know exactly how many gallons they carry, but that's always been their deal, to get lots of mileage.
Get him in, get him buckled up. You never want to leave the pits in an off-road race without getting your harness on.
Also a very quick stop. That was very good. For changing drivers and all, that was good. Very good. Good job.
We're trying to use a little strategy here. Hope it works well for us. You know, I didn't want to beat it up too bad. Run about 95% first part and see what happens the last part. And getting flats, we ran pretty much trouble-free the whole time. So the truck's in good shape.
Something's happening with Corey Sheeler's car, guys.
They've got something in the right front there. Look, maybe a wheel bearing, something like that has come loose.
Now this is Trophy Truck 39. That's Danny Lettner out of Orange, California.
You see the two hoses they're going to plug in this fresh air, and he's put a fresh raker in there.
That's his grandson Harley working underneath the car for his grandpa.
In the truggy.
Yeah, it's got something wrong.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more racing action from the Las Vegas Primm 300 right after this. 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300 and the start of the third lap.
Well, he's awful tentative. He doesn't want to get thrown over the handlebars like his brother did.
Yeah, he probably figures one brother today is enough.
Oh, but he almost takes out a section of fence here.
Now here's where they have to stop at the start-finish line area. They get scrutinized by the timing and scoring people and back out on the track.
Okay, our second place truck is now Dan Smith. Look how nice that truck flies now.
Nice air.
You know, that's a lot has to do with how the springs of the truck is on the front rudder, and maybe even that weight in the back of the truck with all that fuel it carries.
It makes sense about letting it fly a little flatter. And this is LeDuc, fresh from Wisconsin.
He's our third place trophy truck, and you see that truck didn't fly quite as well, but plenty good, plenty good.
Now here we're on the dry lake bed now. Ivan, here's where you really open it up. Is there any trick or any danger at this point that we can't tell?
No, there really isn't. He's pre-run across this dry lake, probably raced across it for many years. There's no dust in front of him, obviously. It's a chance to kind of settle back and you know, get your seat belts adjusted the way you want them, clean your goggles possibly, and just kind of let the race car run. You guys probably running 120, 30 mile an hour across this dry lake.
Now this is Ashley, and you just see a hint of dust in front of him, so he knows who he's got in front of him.
Yeah, now what they'll do a lot of times is they'll be way off to one side. There could be dust in front of, boy,
Look
this
at
is
this.
Kurt LeDuc, and what a beautiful shot this is.
Oh.
I'll bet he's running it good. Knowing that race car, I know Kurt LeDuc, the way he stands on the gas pedal, he's probably running 135 mile an hour.
reminiscent of an old friend of ours, Ivan, Malcolm Smith, on any Sunday on a motorcycle going across Diablo with the dust trail.
Charlie, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Ah,
whoa,
little road crossing.
Oh, that'll get your heart going.
It does.
Listen to that.
Now, this is Larry Jobe out of Las Vegas in Corey Sheeler's car coming into the grandstand area.
Scream that engine. Here comes, looks like Doug Fortin.
Oh, listen to that motor, Ivan.
For that little, for a four-cylinder motor, that thing sounds like a 800 horsepower V8, doesn't it?
Yep. Half of the V8, so it's, you know, it's got half the sound there.
Dale Eberts. Those buggies just don't seem to like that jump either.
Yeah.
Some race cars do. The buggies don't seem to like it too well. Sideways.
Yeah, he knows who's in front of him, and he's going to probably try and do a major catch-up.
This is Coke again.
Yeah, he's out of Ridgecrest, and he's been around forever.
Tom has been a competitor. I can remember 20 years ago racing against Tom or with Tom out in Barstow, California, and he just loves been buggy racer as long as I can remember. I don't believe he's ever driven a truck.
I don't think he has. This is David Westham from wherever he's residing at today.
He's from all over, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he got all over that jump.
They do a good job for not having a major sponsor behind them.
Always a strong competitor. Damon Jeffries. Now, let me tell you, this guy is really running. He is moving way up in the pack, always aggressive, little 1600cc engine, and he's really making it hum.
I think he's got everybody's attention right now, taking a Class 10 car this far up into the ranks.
Yeah, he's up there right up. He's got to be close to the overall, I tell you. As far as he's up in the pack, he's way up.
Now this is Callaway. This is your SCORE Light champion from last year. Now he's moving up. I mean, he's up with the 10th.
These guys, one of the big secrets they just keep moving. Ed Herbst, really on the throttle. This is a beautiful feeling right here when you get a truck working as well as this, as fast as he's running through this type of terrain. He's probably doing at least 110 mile an hour through here.
You really get an appreciation for how well the suspension has been put together on this particular truck.
And let me tell you, it's not easy to get a truck working that well. It takes a lot of suspension.
Look at Ashley.
Yeah.
Ashley's moving up. But this, actually Dan Smith, but I mean, this car's moving up quick too.
Great aerial shot.
You like that shot? Wait till you see this. Here's a view way above all the racing. Stay tuned for more of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. And it looks like the Duralast truck has some problems.
And no little problem. This is a major redo of this truck.
You see the transmission laying there on the left side? It looks like they're changing the transmission possibly.
Now, everybody needs to get an appreciation for what they're accomplishing in the middle of the desert to get this truck back on the racetrack.
Something happened. We had an electrical short, and it ended up, we have some stainless steel transmission lines on this car, and it ended up shorting through the transmission lines and melted them, and tranny fluid caught on fire. The whole car caught on fire, but the Enduro crew, they're getting it put back together. We're going to go out there and get it fitted. So it's probably 4th or 5th for the day, but we're doing good.
That is absolutely amazing to me. A vehicle that catches fire, and he's still very calm about, hey, we're just going to fix it, pick it up. We should come 4th, 5th today. I mean, that's amazing.
That's these crews. They can do almost anything in the desert. This is Team McPherson. That's Jeff Lewis going out, and he's now in two-wheel drive.
Let me tell you, this guy's in two-wheel drive too, but he is on the gas pedal.
Look at some aggressive driving there.
He's coming into the pit area.
But he's not stopping. He changed his mind, it looked like.
I'll be darned.
Huh.
I'll be darned.
I wonder what that's all about.
Oh, there's a major decision right there.
Yeah, normally they'd stop and check the truck over and...
Aha, that's why.
Doug Fortin. He is right on these guys.
He's putting the pressure on Herbst, and that's why Herbst didn't come into the pits. This kid is on a roll.
You know, remember, he started 10 minutes behind Herbst.
That's right. Kurt Leduc is, I'll bet you got a problem. He's not near as aggressive as we'd like to see.
Yeah, that's not the same Kurt Leduc that we both know.
Here comes Dale Eberts.
Now, Jorge, see the light that's on Dale's got on his race car. The reason I do a lot, and these guys I'm sure the same thing, it's the middle of the day, but they'll leave that light on. So when they come up behind another competitor, if a guy looks in his mirror, looks back, he'll see that light and maybe move out of the way quicker.
Yeah, sometimes they can't see the car, but they can see the light.
That's right. I tell you what, this poor old Kurt, I'm going to guarantee he's got some sort of a problem. He's babying that truck much more than he normally would.
Yeah, he'd be doing about 40 miles an hour faster. Look at this truck work.
These guys aren't babying this truck.
Now, they're finding some deep, deep silt sand here, aren't they?
Well, remember now, we're much later in the race, and all these guys have come through this silt section, and they've churned it up, and it's gotten deeper and deeper and deeper.
Oh, look at how Fortin is putting the pressure on Herbst.
They've got that race car working very, very well.
We're talking about fathers and sons here. At first it was Herbst, then it was Fortin, and now it's the Eberts crews. I mean, what better example of family?
I think you get this silt and dust in your blood. You can't get it out, and you just gotta keep coming back for more.
From
Dave
wherever
he's from, yeah. They get through the silt pretty quick. Takes a lot of horsepower to get through the silt.
Yeah.
A lot of time you'll notice that the lesser, slower buggies will actually sink into it.
And that's Damon Jeffries, and he is on a mission.
Gus Vildosa again, doing a very good job today. We got an in-car shot here. Watch that wheel travel.
See those shadows? That's a deep rut.
That is a deep hole.
Well, this is what we call reading the terrain. And Charlie, just as you mentioned, those deep shadows, the darker that shadow, the deeper the hole. So, I mean, when you see one of the shadows get real deep, that could be a big, deep hole.
Oh, listen to this.
The truggy again. Listen to the engine, though. He got a problem.
Yeah, but he's running fast, Ivan.
Typically when you hear that kind of a sound, it sounds like a broken header. You know, it hasn't lost a lot of horsepower, but it can be annoying, the sound. And the other thing you really got to watch for is the fact that you get a lot of carbon monoxide fumes in the race car.
Look at this, guys. I mean, they've got it put together.
Here's the Duralast truck that we checked out in the pit stop, completely broken down.
Completely torn apart.
It had caught fire earlier in the race.
They want their points, and that's one of the reasons in off-road racing you just never give up. Plus, you never know, where you can finish, what can happen to the other guy.
Look at this. It's the Ducati Quaker State entry, the Ford Ranger of Bob Land.
This is the best Bob's done all year that I've seen. Look at him labor.
Oh.
This is an example of how deep the silt is and the small amount of horsepower he's dealing with. Much slower.
Sounds like he's got a broken header, too. You have to get around the course. 4 laps, 83 miles a lap.
And that good-looking car has to mean the good-looking Becky Freeman.
She's really on the gas pedal, boys. Let me tell you. She's won't be long before Becky will be moving up in class. Mark my word.
And she kind of skirted that silt area a little bit. Look at this truck work, guys.
This truck's doing, I'll bet you, a good 120 mile an hour through here. He's on the gas pedal.
Yeah, because he's got Fortin on in his rearview mirror.
With half the engine, huh?
Not only that, as we pull away, you can see he's passing up traffic on Interstate 15. Stay tuned for the finish of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. We are back to the finish of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300 and the final stretch.
Always feels good coming down here. See that roller coaster and knowing that you're heading for the finish line. But what he doesn't know, who's behind him and who could catch him.
He can't let up an ounce. He has got to stay on the pedal big time to the finish line because it's a matter of time
That's right, and because he doesn't know, he's got to go so hard, as you say, Charlie, and they lost Barstow by just a few seconds by not staying on the gas pedal.
Yeah, but he didn't fly that jump like he would normally fly it. Listen to the crowd.
All right, here's Ed Herbst in the Terrible Herbst Ford Trophy Truck, taking first in class and first overall.
Good job.
Welcome back, Trigger. Welcome back, son.
Got the witch off our back.
Witch off your back.
We got the black witch on our car and the witch off our back.
First in class, first overall.
Yeah. We had a pretty good day. Timmy did a great first 2 laps. I did a pretty good 3rd lap and a good 4th lap. Course is really, really rough. I've been out here a long time. It's probably one of the roughest chewed up things I've seen in a while. So dusty, but we're here.
Car ran good.
Car ran great all day. Mike Smith, my co-rider over here, I gotta give him a lot of credit, Barry. He's a good guy. This is his deal, man, and he's got it. So I give it to Barry.
Now this is Doug Fortin being pushed by Charlie Townsley.
And he's being pushed across the finish line. Is that legal?
At this race, you have to be on your own power within 1 mile of the finish line.
Yeah, apparently he blew an engine.
Kurt LeDuc finishes second in Trophy Trucks.
Us co-drivers happy. That's Dale Eberts, guys.
Hey, his first win in Class 1. Thanks for John.
Just a big challenge. We got 3 flats, and oil cooler fan fell off, and we were losing oil, and just almost everything that could go wrong went wrong. But never really lost a lot of time when that happened. So rough course. Didn't rain. It's dusty, real dusty. No flats. I want to thank all my crew for helping me, and my brother. The 2 of us prep our car ourselves in our garage.
I can't imagine we're not in the top 4 or 5 overall, which for a Class 8 in this day and age isn't too bad, but we're pretty excited. BFG tires, unreal, no problems all day with the truck. But this guy right here, Tony McCormick, he can prep a car. It's 3 wins this year, and I'll tell you, Brian Collins is tough competition. This is his backyard, and Randy and Tony did an incredible job. Absolutely incredible.
We had a real good car. We had absolutely no mechanical problems whatsoever. We did a lot of testing before this race with John Marking from Fox and with their new 3-inch shocks, and it proved to be the difference for us. They never faded. We never had any problems at all, Dave. The car worked beautiful. I would say we could hose it off and go race the 1,000 right now. And that's how good it is.
You ready for that? Well, we're certainly ready for the 1,000. That's our goal, to win the 1,000.
Ed Herbst gives some pointers to future trophy truck driver Chase Wilson.
If you want to do it, you'll do it. Nothing's impossible.
A great day and a great little guy.
The 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300 race results are brought to you by Toyota. Our minds are always racing.
Here are the overall winners of the 1998 Las Vegas Primm 300. First overall and first in class in the Herbst Trophy Truck driven by Tim and Ed Herbst with a winning time of 5 hours and 53 minutes with an average speed of 56.75 miles per hour. Second overall and first in class, Damon Jeffries in a Class 10. Just an incredible accomplishment. Damon Jeffries beat everyone in time except the Herbst Trophy Truck. Third overall and first in class, David Westerman, Rick Salmont in a Class 8. Fourth overall and first in Class 1, Dale Eberts. Fifth, Gus Vildosola in Class 1. Sixth, Kurt LeDuc in a trophy truck. Seventh, Nick Baldwin in Class 1. Eighth, Brian Collins in a Class 8 truck. Ninth, Josh Baldwin in a Class 1. And 10th overall goes to Rick Romans in a Class 10 car. Ivan, your thoughts on the race?
Well, I tell you, great race with a great finish. The Herbst family getting their first overall victory in the trophy truck division. Not only that, Damon Jeffries finishing second overall in the Class 10 buggy. That is unheard of.
Yep. And Charlie?
Well, I got to tell you, I agree with Ivan. It was a great race, but a tough one. 126 vehicles started, 59 finished. That's 54% of the competitors did not make it to the finish line. Now, in the trophy truck division, the Duralast Enduro team practically rebuilt that truck from the ground up in 57 minutes. And I got to tell you, the victors get the spoils at this one.
Well, there you go.